Well, I certainly did not expect this day to come necessarily where Natalie was able to finally, let's just say let loose, because she thrives being on 90 Day Fiancé. I never did I ever think she'd do anything that could maybe jeopardize her position on the show. But as you can see here, Natalie decided to post a clip that involved the most recent episode of 90 Day Fiancé, The Last Resort. And in that clip itself in particular, which I can't play for copyright purposes, this is the scene where Sophie and Julia are talking about Natalie. So Natalie says, stages of bullying, my last resort experience. Number 1, targeting and exclusion. They targeted me without reason, spreading lies and rumors to turn the group against me. So when she says they, my assumption is that she's talking about Julia and Sophie, because those are the only two people that she references in her bullet points, shall I call it. Number 2, false accusations. Julia lied, saying I insulted Sophie's behind her back. And Sophie falsely claimed I talked to people that I dislike her. I'm pretty sure she's going to say I told people that I dislike her. Those were baseless accusations to justify their own actions. Sophie and Josh wanted to cover up their own inappropriate behavior at the resort, flirting with each other in front of her husband and me. They made me the scapegoat to deflect blame. Hashtag false accusations, hashtag gaslighting, hashtag provocation. So here's the thing. We know that Rob has come out so far to say that these claims are not true, that Sophie has not slept with Josh. And it would be very weird if Josh was flirting or slept with Sophie, given the fact that Rob and Josh are so close together now anyway. So that would be very, very weird. But who knows? Maybe there's truth to what Natalie's saying, and maybe she did witness some flirting. Maybe she did witness certain things. But so far, we know from the season that Rob was very much involved in Sophie's DMs when Josh was DMing her. So that covers that bit itself in particular. We also know that Sophie never went to Vegas with Josh and whoever he invited to the trip as well. So right now, it's not looking like as if that even happened. But okay, we continue. Now, says number 3, body shaming and group insults. Interesting. Josh mocked me with jokes about marks on the bed and bathroom use. The group turned my every move into a running joke to humiliate me. Hashtag body shaming, humiliation, bullying. I mean, listen, these are the things, of course, we haven't necessarily seen in the most recent season, so I guess we can't say too much about it. But I will say this, when it comes to body shaming, listen, Natalie's not one to speak. She's really not one to speak. And to be fair, even when she spoke about exclusion here, so far it seemed and looked as if Natalie chose to exclude herself from the group. And to be fair, she's always had that vibe to always isolate herself from the rest anyway. But hey, let's continue. Gaslighting and isolation and reinforcement. This is number 4. Very interesting title there, to be honest, or subtitle, I say. Josh started calling me crazy, and soon the whole group joined in, reinforcing the idea that I was crazy. They collaborate to isolate me and gaslight me. Now, I will say this though, in the most recent episode, we did see Jasmine go over to instigate to Natalie that Josh had been in the DMs of Sophie. So to be honest with you, that was definitely a form of gaslighting, if you ask me personally. And also Jasmine did also come out to say that, I am crazy too. And to be honest with you, I don't know if that's due to the fact that maybe Jasmine was pushed over, was kind of encouraged by Sophie or Judy based on these claims, or Josh based on these claims, or it was just the fact that, Jasmine was just doing what Jasmine does, and that's just creating drama, because we know the woman loves freaking drama. But I will say, when it comes to the gaslighting situation, that is something that we definitely did see. So that, I give her that, okay? Victimization and emotional harm. Their relentless actions left me excluded, humiliated, and emotionally drained. It's funny because, you see, does Natalie ever think about how she leaves other people emotionally drained? Does she ever think about how, she also plays victim? Does she ever think about her own actions? Because it's interesting for her to say all these points. And to be fair, every point that she's made so far, from point 1 to 5, every subheading, whatever you want to call it, has been something that we have correlated with her throughout the years. So what I want to know is, while she's out here trying to hold other people accountable, or she's trying to pass blame on other people, the question is, that she sat there and had an honest conversation with herself and said, you know what? I am no saint neither. I've actually done things that actually have not been the best things to do. That's what I want to know. Because it's so simple when you're out here accusing other people of X, Y, Z, but did you also look at yourself in this situation? Is there anything that you could have felt you could have done better? Is there anything that you did that maybe put yourself in this position? These are conversations that Natalie should be having with herself to make sure. But as we see here, yep, all of this is coming in the next episode. So she's saying everything that we witness here is going to happen. Every single thing that we witness here is going to happen in the next upcoming episodes of 90 Day The Last Resort. So the question is she really doing all of these things just to get a bit more views for the show? Does she actually mean these things? I mean, to be fair, of course she does. No, she definitely means all of these things. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was doing these things on purpose just to, drive a bit more traffic towards, obviously the next episode. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Either way, though, she says, key question. What kind of person bullies their own partner and turns a couple's retreat into a group attack? Oh, boy. That is a good question, though. That is a good question. Now, the question only really matters if what she's saying is true. Now, there's only been 3 episodes so far of the season. So it's not going to be very easy for us to sit here and say that, hey, well, what you've said here, I've seen it, because a lot of things that she has said here are things that we haven't actually seen yet on the show. There's only been maybe 1 or 2 things we've seen. So I guess we have to wait and find out. And I promise you now, once the season is over, if there's anything that she has said here that I don't witness on that show, I will come back to this video and I will say to you guys, hey, remember when Natalie said targeting and exclusion, false accusations, body shaming and group insults, gaslighting and isolation and reinforcement, victimization and emotional harm? I will come back and be like, listen, everything that she said here was either true. Well, if the things aren't true, I'll come back and be like, well, she definitely wasn't telling the truth of X, Y, Z, because in reality, it was her that was actually doing the damage rather than the damage being done to her. But I will say this, though. The way Sophie and Julia have behaved so far hasn't been the best. Nor has how Natalie has behaved hasn't been the best neither. And the way Jasmine has also got herself involved hasn't been from the best neither. So right now, I would say it's a matter of where there are a bunch of people who are all misbehaving in ways that are not appropriate. And everybody needs to be in a position where they can all take accountability for their own behavior. It definitely shouldn't be a matter of, okay, we're going to target one person and say, well, this, da. The fact that Natalie feels as if she's the only one that's being targeted and everybody else is against it is crazy, And to be honest with you, personally, if I was going to pick a cast member that has maybe been targeted or maybe has been excluded or has been judged by the rest, to be honest with you, there's only really one person I'll be picking right now, and it wouldn't be Natalie. For me personally, I would say that Ariola's been given more of a hard time, to be fair, and being judged more than anybody else in this season so far, because Benjamin has made it abundantly clear for everybody to like him with the way he showboats and he does all these things, while Ari's left there, all alone, waiting for her husband just to give her a hug rather than a freaking handshake. So, to be honest, when it comes to anybody that has experienced any one of these things, to be honest with you, I would say it's probably more Ariola right now than it has been Natalie. And to be fair with you, the fact that Natalie decided to get up in a freaking bar and say, hey guys, I'm single and my boyfriend doesn't want to da or whatever you want to call it. Like, come on now. Look at your behavior. Look at yourself. Anyway, this is all just flipping schoolgirl type behavior right now. Pathetic. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.